Anderson to the end zone. Olsen, did he hold on? Yes, touchdown. One-handed grab, brought it into his body, and the Panthers, who looked like they would be stymied with 3 penalties when they reached the one, finally reached pay dirt on a 14-yard touchdown pass from Derek Anderson to Greg Olsen, and now they will go for 2 again.
It's a beautiful double move right here by Olsen, which you shouldn't fall for because of the down situation and just the size advantage over Neal. Derek Anderson has trust that my guy, Olsen, will go win the 50-50 ball with a beautiful one-handed catch and securing it after the hit.
So they go for 2 with 3:58 on the clock. And they can make it a 1-possession game if they're successful. Here comes the 2-point attempt, and the pass is caught for the 2-point conversion by Olsen. And all of a sudden, the Atlanta Falcon lead has been cut to 8 with just under 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Drama near the finish here in the Georgia Dome.
Because the Falcons came with a blitz pressure, Neal right here could not give up the inside. Greg Olsen, the crafty vet, sets him outside, and it's an easy pitch and catch from Anderson to Olsen because Neal gave up the inside on man-to-man with blitz coverage. There's no help inside part of the field. It's too easy. And right here, the Panthers don't need the onside kick. They still have their timeouts. Plenty of time on the clock, plus a 2-minute warning.
9 plays, 94 yards. A 24-point lead by Atlanta's been cut to 8. And the Falcons will start from the 25. It was 34-10. And then 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. Coming up next on Fox, the Cowboys collide with the 49ers. The Rams take on the Cardinals, or the Saints face the Chargers. America's Game of the Week coming up next here on Fox.
See if the Cardinals can bounce back against the Rams, who found their confidence last week against Tampa Bay. Derek Anderson bounced back. What a drive.
Huge for Derek Anderson. 6th year with Carolina, 12th year overall in the NFL, but now Matt Ryan has him on the 25. 3:58 on the clock. And he's going to throw on first down to Julio Jones. Jones still on his feet. Julio Jones, and he's going to score. Touchdown. And what a play call, partner.
It's a great play call, set up the play, actually playing to win, playing as opposed to playing not to lose, taking a shot because you trust Ryan and Jones. And where's Josh Norman? If you're going to play Julio Jones, you got to have a shutdown corner. They don't have a shutdown corner. And so when you're putting Ben Wickery, who's a fine player, don't get me wrong, one-on-one with Jones, the result's 12 touchdowns, 12 receptions, 300 yards.
Matt Ryan. Talk about a rally killer. 1 pass, Julio Jones, 300 yards on the day with 12 catches.
Same thing, Dick. He's on inside alignment. Don't give up the inside. If you're blitzing, you don't have help in the middle of the field. That's too easy. First of all, you want him to go outside because it's a more difficult throw. If he goes inside, it's a laser, and once he gets the ball in his hands, he's a tremendous rack guy. Run after catch, but poor position by Ben Wickery, plus a missed tackle off the stiff arm. Then he's off celebrating with the fans in Atlanta.
They put 2 rookies on him to start the game. First it was Bradbury and then Worley, and then they went to Ben Wickery. Same result. And Matt Ryan.
That's why corners are drafted number 1. That's why corners get big money.
5th player all time with 300 or more yards as a receiver. 3rd down and 2. They got 2 downs to try to get this. They won't hear as Brown is stopped short after making the catch.
You do not want to concede right here. So what you do in order to bring pressure, you keep a safety deep, but you can still bring pressure to make sure you have help with Olsen. You have to play the percentages on defense. Olsen's been the killer, the Falcon killer in the red zone as we come to the 2-minute warning. That's what you do defensively.
This is the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes remaining. Matt Ryan leading the #1 offense in the NFL, disappointing none of the fans here at the Georgia Dome.
Today's game is sponsored by Sprint. Switch and save today. Learn more at sprint.com/network.
Coming up, it's the State Farm Game Break Show. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy, along with scores and highlights of all of today's action to get you ready for America's Game of the Week. 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. 4th down and 2 for the Panthers. Derek Anderson on the run, completes it to Brown, who scores. Corey Brown catches a 4th down pass for a touchdown. And the Panthers will be going for 2 once again. Or let's see, they send on Gano.
Cut it to an 8-point game and go for 2. Yep.
Safe right now, because then you have a chance to decide on an onside kick. They still have 3 timeouts left. They would need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. If they go for 2 and don't get it here, they'd have trouble.
No pressure applied by the Falcons defense, allowing Derek Anderson to roam free and have the choice. Corey Brown.
Here's Gano, and the extra point is good. So 41-33, so it's a 1-score game, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion that Ron Rivera's Panthers need with 1:53 remaining and 3 timeouts left. That was a 16-yard touchdown pass, by the way, from Anderson to Brown.
Well, if you're going to play man, which the Falcons did, then you want to bring pressure and force a quick throw. That time, Derek Anderson was able to have all kind of time, survey the field, break through the pocket, and you can't ask your guys to cover that long because you're not going to stick on any receiver. So with that, you have to bring pressure.
How about Anderson? 16 of 19, 163, and 2 touchdowns. Atlanta leading Carolina 41-33, their biggest test of the year. Came in 2-1 with the #1 offense, but moving up in class and playing the Panthers. Coming off a loss to Minnesota, trying to right the ship, and it hasn't been that way for them today as Atlanta leads 41-33. Nick Stockton, Chris Spielman, Christina Pink. And are you surprised at the way the Panthers haven't turned it around from last week?
Not at all. Well, first of all, they've been able to take care of the prevent defense that Falcons were doing to try to keep everything from going over their head. Derek Anderson has found his groove and rhythm. Now, they've only been rushing 4, and Derek Anderson's been able to exploit that because the protection has been better where Cam had people in his face.
On the other side, Julio Jones 300 yards receiving and Matt Ryan 500 yards passing, both franchise records. And now Ryan will go to work again. 4 touchdowns, 503 yards in the air, 8-point lead, and 1:53 remaining. The last time they were in this position, Chris, he went to Julio Jones and decided to eschew the running game. You don't think he'll do that again, do you?
Well, if he does it, I think he'll do it on 2nd down. They might because of the connection that they have. The safe play is obviously run it 3 times and make the Panthers use their timeouts.
Panthers have all 3 left. From the 25. Hand off to Dante Freeman for a couple of yards. And the Panthers will use their first timeout, and we'll check in with Carissa Thompson for a game break. Carissa.
Thanks, Nick. Just a reminder, America's Game of the Week. The Cowboys and the Niners. Dak Prescott will be without the services of Des Bryant, who's out with a knee injury. The Niners looking to snap their 2-game losing streak. That game is next. Nick, Chris, and Christina.
All right, Carissa, thank you very much. Well, Jones is out there, and they know that Carolina has to use their timeouts. So, Dak Prescott, what a start he's had this year.
Helped by Zeke Elliott, 2 rookies, finding their rhythm with that Cowboy offense. Another good offensive line.
Second down and 8. And Ryan will be sacked inside the 20 by K'Wan Short. That's the third sack of the game by Carolina.
Second timeout.
And a timeout called by the Panthers. They have one left. So tell me about the game as you saw it today, Chris.
Well, it's still going on, which is a great game because there's not a lot of die-in champions, and the Panthers are champions. And that play particularly was a smart play by Matt Ryan by eating it and taking the sack, forcing the timeout. And I guarantee you, if we told you that if they were going to pass, they're going to pass on second down, it was not there. Matt made a good decision to close it down and just take the sack. Now you run it and force them to use their last timeout.
I want to remind you, the State Farm Game Break Show coming up next. 1:42 on the clock. And the Panthers have one timeout remaining. And we're going to give it to Dante Freeman. And Freeman will have a first down.
Third and final charge timeout, Carolina.
Third and long and a 6-yard gain. And now the third and final timeout going on. And so the punter will come on, Matt Bodger, for Atlanta.
You want to eliminate the return. So if your punter is good at directional kicking, and your punt cover team.
Please reset the game clock. 137, please. 137. Thank you.
We only have to cover one side of the field because that's a very dangerous man back there in Ted Ginn Jr. So the last thing you want to do is line it. You either want a directional kick or make sure that the hang time is outstanding to force a fair catch so he does not have the ability to set up field position with a return.
Panthers had scored 3 touchdowns and converted 3 two-point conversions and need another one to tie this game. Here's the return by Ted Ginn from the 16. And forced to go out of bounds at about the 25. Leroy Reynolds pushed him there. So no timeouts left. Derek Anderson, who is 16 for 19, 163 yards. Thrown a couple of touchdown passes in relief of Cam Newton, who went in for concussion protocol here in the fourth.
Well, it's the White Freeney time. This is why the vet was brought in. For these situations alone. He's not asked to play the run. He's not asked to play on first and second down. What he's asked to do is get off the quarterback. And he's had some pressures today. So Remmers, the left tackle, normally the Panthers' right tackle, is going to be challenged. That's the matchup to watch away from the ball.
Panthers, no timeouts remaining. They need a touchdown and a two-point conversion to tie. Anderson. And it's intercepted. Robert Alford. Carolina has come back so many times, but Atlanta has had the answer. And this answer is the final one. As the Falcons, with an interception and a touchdown, pick 6 by Robert Alford to nail this one down. Talk about great play on both sides of the ball, Chris.
They made a play when they had to be made. Just by zone defense. And right here, he's going to Olsen. That's been his contact guy. 23 Alford, stay in position, playing cover 2. It looked like Olsen almost quit on it a little bit, but good job of blocking transition and tremendous effort by the whole Falcons team.
Matt Ryan adds the extra point, and it's 48-33.